Hi everybody, and I want to thank you for taking the time to get together tonight. I hope you're having a great time as you eat together and visit. Diane and I wanted to be there with you, but due to plans that were made a long time ago, we're actually out of town right now. So I thought it would be good if I could just make a short video just to tell you a little bit about Pathway as you consider what the possibilities might be in the future in terms of getting on board and helping out and joining our team on a regular basis. Pathway Church began just over 4 years ago. We had our first public meetings. Something you need to understand about Pathway is it is a church plant, and church plants aren't all the same. Some church plants begin when, a significant number of people come from another church and they begin meeting in a new location, and they grow the church from that point on. And those types of church plants have specific characteristics, specific ways that they do ministry. Pathway Church didn't begin like that. We began more like what you might call a home mission church plant. By that I mean we started basically from zero, just making contacts with people in the community, and our desire was to see people who were not attending church, who did not have any relationship with God, maybe didn't even think about God, building relationships with them, and through those relationships see them come into a personal relationship with God and to see change take place in their life. One of the things that might help you if you want to go home and get a better idea of exactly this whole philosophy of ministry at Pathway is go home and look up the Engel scale. A guy by the name of James Engel devised a scale that describes the process that many people go through as they come to a place where they actually ask Christ to come into their life. There's about 8 or 9, maybe 10 steps before that. You start with people who don't even think about God, or they're not aware of Him. Maybe they're an atheist, they don't believe He exists. And then they get to a stage, through circumstances, through whatever, where they have an awareness of Him. Maybe after that they meet some Christians, they go to some event, and there's certain stages that they go through long before they actually get to the place where they say, yes, I'd like to follow Christ. And then after that, there are steps and stages where they grow on to maturity. At Pathway, we're desiring to see people that are at the very bottom of that scale, that have really no awareness of God or don't really think about Him, to go from that place to the place where they become mature followers of Christ. Now, one of the characteristics, or 2 or 3 of the characteristics actually, of that type of a church plant are this. Number one, most of the growth is conversion growth. You see people coming to Christ, and that's how your church grows. The other characteristic is that the rate of growth in this type of home mission church plant, the rate of growth is much slower. And then the other factor that's very interesting, and this is something that we've been learning as we've worked with the district office, we've learned that churches that are made up of a lot of people from other churches with transfer growth, they tend to become financially independent after about a 3-year period. The model that we're following here in trying to reach people who are not followers of Christ, who are not churchgoers, they're telling us that it's 6 to 7 years before they become financially independent and self-supporting. Now, one of the things that will be interesting to you is this, that as people come, we have a lot of young families, they have small children, and right from the beginning, because of that, we've wanted to have a children's ministry. And as people come, we need to have workers who love the Lord and who are willing to give their time and their energy to invest in children. Now, why is this so important? It's so important because many of the people that you talk to, maybe your own story is the same, they came to know about God when they were a child. And, it's not just a Christian babysitting service. We're building into the lives of young people. We're building into the lives of people who will become adults. Now, in addition to that, you must remember that many of our families that come, they're coming from a totally non-church background. And so we're having input even into the parents' lives as we minister to their kids. one of the realities is that together, Katrina and our daughter Rachel and my wife Diane, they have kind of been the three main children's workers, nursery workers, and they are almost literally in that ministry every week. And they won't maybe tell you this quite as forcefully as I will, but they're getting very tired. As you think about the possibilities and as you pray, I'd like you to consider these factors, what I've described to you tonight, that we're in a community trying to reach people that don't know Christ. We're trying to build relationships with them. One of the ways of doing this is when we provide quality children's ministry. And the fact is, we're getting tired and we need help. So it's not just us coming and saying, hey, would you come and work with us? But we pray and just ask God to give you a bit of a vision, a bit of a glance of what He wants to do in our community there in South Canada. And then I'm praying that will be a motivation for you to say, you know what? I'm going to commit to X number of weeks. Maybe I'll come, every other month or every third month. Those are logistics that you need to work out. But I wanted you just to get a little picture of what God's doing. I need to tell you that there are people, significant number of people in Pathway today who are, some of them are even serving in some capacities, who didn't have a clue about God. They didn't have a clue about who Jesus really was. They maybe heard of Him, but they didn't know anything. And God's brought change in their life. And we want to see that grow. We want to see that continue. But for that to happen, a key element, a key part of it is our children's ministry. So God bless you. I want to thank you again for taking the time to come and meet tonight. I realize your time is worth more than money. Okay, because your money, you can lose $100 and gain it back again. But the hour or whatever you've given tonight, you're never going to get back. So I pray that this investment pays off for all of us as we try to serve the Lord together. So God bless you.